Scope 3 Carbon Emission Reporting.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel dedicated to sustainability and environmental topics. I hope you have seen my other videos about carbon reporting, Scope 1 and Scope 2 emission reporting. If not, please check it in the link mentioned above. Today let's understand Scope 3 carbon emission reporting. What is Scope 3 emission? Scope 3 carbon emissions refer to greenhouse gas (GHG) emissions that occur as a result of an organization's activities but are outside the direct control or ownership of the organization. Unlike Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions, which focus on emissions from an organization's own operations and energy consumption, Scope 3 emissions encompass the entire value chain, including both upstream and downstream activities. Scope 3 emissions can be categorized into 15 different categories based on the Greenhouse Gas Protocol's Corporate Value Chain Accounting and Reporting Standard. 15 categories or sources are: purchased goods and services, capital goods, fuel and energy-related activities, not included in Scope 1 or Scope 2. Upstream transportation and distribution, waste generated in operations, business travel, employee commuting, upstream leased assets, downstream transportation and distribution, processing of sold products, use of sold products, end-of-life treatment of sold products, downstream leased assets, franchises, and investments. Let's check ways to analyze, measure and calculate Scope 3 emissions. 1. Identify and categorize emission sources. Start by identifying the different categories of Scope 3 emissions relevant to your business. This includes understanding your value chain, including suppliers, customers, and other stakeholders. Categorize the emission sources according to the Greenhouse Gas Protocol's Scope 3 categories mentioned earlier. 2. Gather data and establish data collection processes. Collect data from relevant sources within your value chain. This may involve engaging with suppliers, conducting surveys, reviewing invoices, and analyzing consumption data. Establish data collection processes to ensure the consistent and accurate gathering of relevant information. 3. Apply emission calculation methods. Once the data is collected, apply appropriate calculation methods for each emission source. This may involve using industry-specific emission factors, life cycle assessment methodologies, or other recognized calculation approaches. Be consistent in your calculation methods to ensure comparability and accuracy. 4. Validate and verify data. Validate the collected data to ensure its accuracy and reliability. Consider engaging third-party experts or auditors for independent verification. This step helps enhance the credibility of your Scope 3 emissions calculations. 5. Report and set reduction targets. Consolidate the calculated Scope 3 emissions data into a comprehensive report. Communicate the findings and insights to stakeholders, including suppliers, customers, investors, and the public. Use the data to set reduction targets, develop strategies to address emission hotspots, and collaborate with supply chain partners to drive sustainability improvements. Remember that analyzing, measuring, and calculating Scope 3 emissions requires ongoing commitment and collaboration with stakeholders throughout the value chain. It is essential to continuously refine your data collection processes, improve data quality, and track progress towards emission reduction goals.
Important benefits of Scope 3 emission reporting.
A. Enhanced supply chain transparency. Scope 3 carbon emission reporting provides insights into the emissions associated with your supply chain, enabling you to identify hotspots and collaborate with suppliers to drive sustainability improvements. B. Holistic emissions assessment. By including Scope 3 emissions, businesses can gain a comprehensive understanding of their carbon footprint, accounting for both direct and indirect emissions, and make more informed decisions to reduce their environmental impact. C. Identification of emission reduction opportunities. Scope 3 reporting helps identify emission hotspots and areas where significant emission reductions can be achieved, allowing businesses to prioritize efforts and implement targeted strategies for a more sustainable value chain. D. Stakeholder engagement and reputation management. Transparent reporting of Scope 3 emissions demonstrates a commitment to sustainability and can enhance relationships with stakeholders, including customers, investors, and communities, leading to improved reputation and brand value. E. Regulatory compliance and risk management. Anticipating and managing regulatory requirements related to Scope 3 emissions helps businesses stay ahead of evolving environmental regulations and mitigate potential risks associated with non-compliance, ensuring long-term sustainability and resilience. Calculating Scope 3 emissions is more complex than calculating Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions. But if an organization wants to future-proof their business, they need to put efforts to calculate all kinds of emissions. For a sustainable future, it's our prime responsibility to reduce carbon emissions. I hope this video gives you a detailed understanding about Scope 3 emissions. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you are passionate about a sustainable future, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, so that information can be passed to a greater audience. See you in the next video soon. Till then, go green.